Yo, what's going on? What's happening? Mm. I'm going somewhere with this. Bear with me. Here in Charlotte, they have a highway called Highway 85. It goes around the city of Charlotte. I was on I guess the southern part of it. You know what I'm saying? Like around Valentine. I was driving. This had to be about 2 weeks ago. I was driving down 485 going away from Valentine, about to get to the exit where, you exit off to Pineville, North Carolina. I think it's the hospital called Pineville Hospital, but I think they changed the name to Atrium Health Hospital now. You know what I'm saying? So I had to be doing about 82, 85, about 10 to 15 miles over the speed limit. Here in Charlotte, 485, the speed limit is 70 miles per hour. And it was a dude that came out of nowhere and just zoomed past me. He had to be doing at least about 93 to 100. No lie, this is my word. And he was bobbing and weaving, in and out of traffic. Now, taking heed, before I go any further with this story, I just want to let you all know, I've seen a lot of things in my time. Straight up. I've seen a lot of acts of violence, in the hood. I've seen people get shot. I've seen people shoot back and forth at each other. Seen a lot of stuff. I've been a victim of violence, of acts of violence. I've been pistol whipped. I've been jumped. I've jumped people. You know what I'm saying? I've seen a lot of stuff in my life, in my time. But this incident, I wasn't prepared for. It shook me. And it changed me in a way where now, more than ever, I'm ready to leave this city for good. So let me continue. So the guy is weaving back and forth in traffic. He's doing, like I said, about 90 something to 100 miles per hour, right? And there's some railings that we're about to, come up on. And the railings are there to protect the cars. So if they hit the railings, they're going to just bounce off and not go down into the bank where there's a bunch of trees at, right? So this is my word. I'm several feet behind this guy, right? I say about 2 or 3 cars behind him, but I can see him. The guy that's going fast, right? This is my word. I'm not embellishing on the truth. I'm not making this up. This is my word. It seemed as though that this man specifically went head on with the railings. And when he hit those railings, it wasn't like he was going back. No, he went straight to the railings. When his truck hit that railings, it propped him up, and he went over the railings and went down into the bank. And all you could hear is boom, 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 boom. He was hitting the trees and shit. And everybody slowed down. Some people got out to help him. And I slowed down and I kept it moving. I was shook. I've never seen anything like that in my life. In my opinion, it appeared that he intentionally hit those railings to unalive himself. So then, I go further up 485 and there's an exit called South Tryon. I get off the exit South Tryon, I go to Publix in the White Hawk shopping center. And then a couple minutes later, I get home and I'm on WBTV 11 News to see what happened to dude that I said that tried to, unalive himself. And they had no footage of it. You want to know why? Because they had other stories. Like moments after I got off the South Tryon exit, straight up, it had to be like an hour or two later, this dude got off of the South Tryon exit, off of 485, and they said it was a bad drug deal that went wrong, whatever. And they wound up shooting at each other, and the person got shot. This happened like a couple weeks ago. And from that point on, Charlotte has been off the hook. I think about 7 people have been killed thus far. Like, come on, we just started the new year. 15-year-old tried to carjack someone in Uptown Charlotte last week. The guy turned around and shot the 15-year-old, killed him. The same day, another dude got shot in West Charlotte. This shit is off the hook. And I know what you're gonna say. You're gonna say, man, miss me with that, man. You know, Charlotte ain't that bad. Man, you should come to my hood, or you should come to my city. We be having shootings and killings every weekend. You know what I'm saying? They got about 9 to 10 of them. And it's like, who has desensitized us? Who? Is it the media that's responsible? Is it our community? But whoever it was, or whoever it is, it worked. And whenever you hear someone that got shot and killed, or some type of harm that came to them, you don't care. You try to brush it off. It's like, oh shit. It's like in Paid in Full, Cameron, you know, niggas die every day, B. And it's crazy to me, man. It's crazy, man. Charlotte has gotten out of hand. The crime has increased. Let CMPD tell it. Charlotte Mecklenburg Police Department tell it. Oh, crime is decreasing. Da 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 da. No, it hasn't. No, it hasn't. It's gotten worse here, man. Straight up. And then when I look at Atlanta, they no different. If not, they 10 times worse. I just saw on the news the other day, the city of Atlanta's homeless people. Straight up. City of Atlanta, I guess, wanted to clean up an area that these homeless people camp out at. They got tents and stuff. They don't have nowhere to go, and they trying to go to sleep and, you know, have some type of home. Well, the city of Atlanta decided that they wanted to, you know, clean up the place. So they brought in tractors, tearing down tents. Well, guess what? It just so happened that a homeless man was sleeping in the tent at that time, and of course, no one's held accountable for that. These cities, these major cities such as Atlanta, Charlotte, Miami, Jacksonville, Orlando, Houston, Dallas are off the hook. Chicago are off the hook. And it's just not safe anymore, man. It really isn't. It really isn't, man. I would encourage those that live in these cities, these major cities, especially around the downtown areas, to leave and move out there in the sticks where your next door neighbors are motherfuckers that speak the moo language and cock-a-doodle-doo. Real talk. That if you think that things are going to get better, no, they're not. As a matter of fact, you got a lot of people that are setting us up, that's saying, yo, man, it's going to get worse before it gets better. Well, shit, I thought we was already living the worst as it is. They got a thing called eggflation. You heard of that? It was bad enough that they created these words like shrinkflation and funflation. Now y'all got eggflation? That shit is crazy to me. Talking to the dude, you know what I'm saying, that be out there tricking with these females and shit. This motherfucker said these chicks went up on the price of pussy. He got a name for that. Call it pussy inflation. Pussyflation. Like, it's crazy, man. It's definitely going to get 10 times worse. You want to know why? Why crime is going to get worse? Why there are going to be more murders in these major cities? More robins, carjackings? It's because of the economy. People don't have jobs. People are struggling for the ones that have jobs. Because that paycheck, the money that they make from their check ain't enough to pay the bills. And I'm going to tell you, when the average person feels his ribs touching his back, how do you think he's going to react? Real shit. You think he's going to just be like, hey man, you know, I gotta work harder. That's what you motherfuckers say. Well, man, you know how the economy is. You know, prices are going up and the price of food and this and that and so forth. Car insurance and home insurance and apartments and all of that stuff is going up. Well, shit, you got to work 10 times harder. The average person will never blame it on their government. We'll blame one another before we blame it on our government. That's real shit. What if that doesn't work though? What if a person is working 3, 4, 5 jobs and that still ain't enough? These major cities are going to fall. And overall, the United States is going to fall. Real shit. It's real talk, man. That's why I encourage you all to get out of these major cities. Move out there in the boondocks. Out there to the boondocks. To the country. Grow your own food. And prepare for the worst. Well, I'll take it another level. Up another notch. If you're that courageous. If you feel as though that you built for it, I tell you to leave the country. Leave this place called United States of America, spelled with 3 Ks. Because as a minority, we've been here for over 400 years and have been fighting and fighting and fighting. For what? We ain't got shit. We ain't gonna never have shit because they ain't gonna never give it to us. When does it get to the point where you say in your mind, you know what, man, what the fuck am I fighting for? Straight up. I listened to this lady. I don't want to say her name. I highly respect her. You know what I'm saying? She's known. I'll go as far as to say she's a leader in the black community. She's not known to everyone, but she's known. But she was talking about how black people, you know, go through trials and tribulations and all the rest of that shit. And we always had to fight for what we got. What little that we have. And the guy that was interviewing her said, yo, don't you think that we need to just divest when it comes to America? You know what I'm saying? And just try something else? And she was like, well, you know, we were born and raised here. The whole rhetoric about how, you know, this is my home just as well as anyone else's and blah, 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 blah. In other words, what she was saying is to keep on fighting and to know that it's always going to be a struggle while you here in America being black. I mean, miss me with that shit. You set my children's children up for the fall. I'm tired of all of that shit about well, if you're black, you got to work 2 to 3 to 4 times harder than anyone else. I'm tired of having these discussions, when it comes to generation after generation after generation about how you're supposed to conduct yourself when a police officer pulls you over. Don't you feel like shit when you really have to tell your son or your daughter that you can't protect them? And you know it's right. You know it's right. I got an AR-15 back there and a couple other guns in this house. And if you get what I'm saying, I could pew certain people, but not all. If you get what I'm saying, I can't protect and defend my family against the real ones. That's my enemy. And what's so funny about it, they had to give me the right in order to bear arms. The fuck you fighting for? You have the freedom of speech because somebody gave it to you. The fuck you fighting for? Ain't nothing free in this motherfucking world. Specifically in the United States, spelled with 3 Ks, of America spelled with 3 Ks. Straight up. You staying in these major cities like Charlotte, man, the average rent for a quote unquote luxury apartment where you're staying on the 4th floor or the 5th floor and you can hear people on the right hand side of you and the left hand side of you and above you and below you, to the point where it's causing aura infringement. It's fucking with you. You can hear these people arguing. You can hear this music, niggas playing music over here. You paid all this fucking money. Stainless steel appliances and shit. A refrigerator where the goddamn door just falls off. It's supposed to be a brand new ass luxury apartment. You paying anywhere between $1,800 and $2,500 a month for a piece of shit. And you want to fight for that? There just was a school shooting a couple weeks ago in Tennessee. It seems as though that school shootings are happening more often than ever. And it's crazy because you know what, man? I could go on with this for days, man. I could go on with this for days. And it's just sickening, man. Because nothing's going to ever change. Nothing. Today's news will be yesterday's news tomorrow. Straight up. Look at what's happening in LA. The whole, how they put it, SoCal is on fire. And now they got a little bit of rain. Now they saying, well, shit, we got to worry about something else. Mudslides. Man, America is imploding. Real shit, right in front of our eyes. And it's people that are just walking around. I seen a motherfucker at the grocery store this morning, man, when I was at the grocery store shopping. He had on his Eagle hat, his Philadelphia Eagle hat, his jacket, and all of that shit. Like your team is winning, but you not. The fuck? You rooting for a team and you ain't got no stake in it. And all them football and basketball games are there to preoccupy your mind. So you won't know what's really going on, what's really happening. And by the time you figure it out, you're fucked. Donald Trump has signed these motherfucking executive orders and shit, allowing ICE to go ape shit. They're not just arresting or detaining illegal aliens. They're detaining anyone that doesn't have the proper credentials on them at that point in time. So they're not just detaining Mexicans. They detaining niggas like me. If you don't have the proper credentials, you don't have your passport, your ID, driver's license, some type of document that can prove that you are who you say you are. You don't have that shit on you, they're going to detain your ass. Real shit. And you could pop all of that shit. Y'all kill me with that shit. It's all illegal. And they don't supposed to do this and they don't supposed to do that. And if they confront you, don't say nothing. And you don't have to do this and da-da-da-da-da. Yeah, right. And they going to bop your ass over the head and put some handcuffs on you and throw you in that motherfucking truck. and haul your ass off to a fucking camp where where a sheet is to lay down is a fucking piece of aluminum foil and shit. Your bed is a piece of aluminum foil, a pad made out of aluminum foil, and your motherfucking sheet is aluminum foil with no fucking pillow. The fuck out of here, man. How the fuck you can't see that this goddamn nation is falling? And if you don't wake up and put your life, and if you have children, your children's lives into your own hands, you're gonna fall. You're gonna fall with America. I tell you, leave the country. Get you some of these. My whole family got them. Got passports for every member of my family. That's why you don't hardly see me on, doing the videos, because I got a lot of shit going on behind the scenes. I'm not playing. It's not a fucking game with me. Maybe for you, but not for me. I can see the storm before it's coming. Before it comes. I'm like one of the old school Southerners. Straight up, this is my word. For those that are young, you don't know nothing about that. But at one point in time, old Big Mama or Grandpa go outside and they can smell. They can smell. They can tell based off the scent. Oh yeah, it's about to rain. Well, I ain't got this big nose for no fucking reason. I can tell when the shit is about to hit the fan. That's real shit. And it's gonna hit. And when it hits, it's gonna hit all these major cities first. Real shit. And we could take a guess on, this place falling, like the reason behind it, or maybe it might be, an economic catastrophe or a natural disaster or AI or whatever. At this point in time, does it really matter? It's inevitable. It's gonna happen. We're going to see the fall of America with our own eyes. And this is not Langston saying this. This is not just Langston saying this. If you don't believe your own kind, if you're black, you don't believe your own kind, well shit, you can go to just about any white man's fucking channel that knows anything about economics and America being in trillions of dollars in debt and bricks and all of this shit. And they can tie it in. They can make that shit sound way more better than I can make it sound. Cause see, I know y'all don't like to hear me cause I talk ghetto. I curse and I yell too much and shit. So you want to hear a Peckerwood say it, using big flashy ass words and shit, then be my guest. Hear it from them. And maybe, just maybe, you'll listen to him, not me. Yeah, man. I'm done. And I know what y'all gonna say. When it's time for me to go and I'm where I'm at, because I ain't telling y'all shit, straight up. But, when it's time for me to go and I'm where I'm at, oh man, he must have moved to one of them third world countries. Where the electricity go out every 2 hours, or they don't have no running water, and he probably stay in the shack or whatever. Fine. Let's just say you're right. At least I'm safe, though. That's what matters. That's what matters. Convenience? Look what convenience has done to us as a society. Look what laziness has done to us. Obesity. How high gas prices, high food prices. Insurance companies canceling policies where these people have been paying their insurance off for the last 20, 30, 40 plus years. But now these insurance companies, if you don't believe me, please go to the white man. Maybe he'll tell you a little bit more better than I do. If you don't believe me, go to the white man. He'll tell you this. Insurance companies are using AI. And now they're able to detect when a storm is going to happen, when a fire is going to happen, and all the rest of that shit. And as well as in Florida, like a hurricane or a tornado, they're able to detect this shit, and they're canceling people's policy before a natural disaster happens so they won't have to pay them. The homeowner, that is. So yeah, man, I never said it was going to be perfect where I'm going to be at. But I'd rather deal with whatever I'm going to deal with than to deal with this shit. Because I don't owe America shit. And it's not worth fighting. I'm going to be doing my ancestors a favor by getting the fuck out of here. And all this shit that's going on ain't my problems. I didn't start it, and I damn for sure ain't gonna end it. People keep on talking about something. Man, you keep on talking about the problems. Well, what about the solutions? I fuck the solutions. My solution is getting the fuck up out of here. And that should be yours. Other than that, I'm out.